What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Submission Fishing Live. I'm your host, Muto. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Streaming on the phone. We're here in Florida. Me and Jessica just closed the house. We just got in it. We don't have any internet or anything, so I'm just doing it off my phone through a browser. So hopefully it all works out for you guys. But yeah, we don't have any furniture in here. We bought a bed from Costco and threw it down. But yeah, it's good stuff. Got my little setup, got some lights, got my mobile stuff going on. Hopefully it's not too echoey for you guys. But it's Thursday. How's everybody doing? Ready for the Spotty Bowl this weekend? It's 10 p.m. over here. Although it's not too bad because it still feels like it's 7. You know, my body, we flew out Wednesday, so haven't quite acclimated, which is good. So I'm still awake. I know you guys are worried about that, right? But it's 10 p.m. here. I'm in Florida. And yeah, it was good. We had dinner at like 7, went saw some people, and I'm still up, still doing it. See who we got in the house. Doug Rubin, what's going on? Oos. Aaron, Big Water Yak Fishing, what's going on, dude? Welcome. TB Metal Art, Todd. You guys see Todd's work he did? Did a like a 3-foot long slow pitch, slow death jig. That thing's awesome. So hopefully next week I'll be able to reveal that thing. I haven't seen it in person yet. I've only seen the pictures like you guys, so hopefully that thing works out. Or I know it'll work out, but hopefully getting it next week works out. Everything looks good. Who else we got in the house here? Leonard in the house. Unicorn Theory. Spinning Rod Rebel. What's going on, man? Oos, welcome. Aaron Kruger in the house. What's going on, dude? Good fishing with you the other day. What else we got? Captain Adobo. Cave Dog. Captain Dan. Hey, you guys are all here. What's going on, guys?
Shout out to Captain Dan.
Luis Mendoza. Welcome, man. What's going on, dude? Louis Mendoza, I guess I should say. Yeah, shout out to Captain Dan, guys. He's out here in the chat. He brought Jessica a pizza with pineapple on it, by the way, and brought some Tripino too. So, man, that's super cool. I know the last show she mentioned she wanted some, and how cool is that? He showed up and brought one over, made it fresh, and he brought a pepperoni too, pepperoni and the onion. It was pretty awesome though. Jessica said it was delightful, so that's good stuff. Down in SD, what's going on? Yeah, so what's going on, guys? You ready for Spotty Bowl? You guys is coming up. Those of you that don't know, Mission Bay, Spotty Bowl is going to be here, and I know the pre-fish was pretty rough for a lot of you guys. They went out there in Mission Bay, so I got to say I'm not really all that sad to be missing it this week. The only downside is I'm going to have my 2 mulligans. So I think we got 6 fishing sessions, but it throws away your 2 worst ones. Well, obviously my one in San Diego Bay sucked when I tried to fish at night. And then I'm going to miss this one in Mission Bay. So I'm still going to be out in Florida, which means I don't have any more mulligans. So it's got to be, all mine have got to count. So after this next week, Big Water Yak Fishing, I'm afraid Saturday is going to be my mulligan week. I think it's going to be everybody's mulligan week, to be honest with you. Mission Bay is rough. For winter fishing, even in San Diego Bay, the one we had last week, it was really, or not last week, last month, but it was really good fishing. And I think it was really surprisingly good, to be honest with you. And normally you don't see it like that in winter. And it was popping off. I know everybody was doing really well, but don't be surprised, guys. Don't get discouraged too if it doesn't pan out too much, because winter fishing is typically hard. I know last Spotty Bowl, some of these guys, I didn't fish it during the winter thing, but I know a lot of these guys, it was like they were straight up struggling just to get 5 fish, and it's going to be tough. So don't beat yourselves up if you guys do poorly. You know, it's Mission Bay in the winter. It's no joke. If you can find a spot, get on it, but I think it'll be rough. Peter 86, what's going on, man? Who's welcome? Salinity up in Mission Bay. Due to my free fish tiers. Yeah, man, you're not the only one, Captain Gumbo. I'm not going to name names. Not going to give out the info, who was fishing, who wasn't, but a little fish report. Most people didn't do too hot on the pre-fish, so I don't know if that's good or bad, right? Like that's one of those pre-fishes where it's like, really, you go out and pre-fish and it's just gonna break your spirit. You're like, oh man, I can't find anything. I don't know where they are. I've been there. I've done it, man. It sucks. Well, what's going on, man? Welcome. Yes, sir. Cold water is slow. Yeah, man. It was. I mean, I went to San Diego Bay, so I didn't eat pre-fish because I didn't need to. I went out of San Diego Bay with a lot of these guys, and it was actually pretty good. The morning, I caught a spotty, got a legal spotty, caught two spotties right off the bat. Then I just went and hit the bait barge. I know Yochinator caught another legal halibut. With the sand bass were popping off like usual. The bite was decent, um, which is kind of surprising. Usually the two are. I know Mission Bay can be rougher, but they were both pretty. Um, Usually they're pretty copacetic. You know, if one's bad and the other one's usually bad, but it didn't sound like Mission Bay was too fruitful there. Peter says headed out to the bait barge for the first time out there. Oh, nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah, just bring a 60, 40 or 60. If the current's really big, 60-gram jig, just plump, drop it down, man. You'll get bit for sure. 40 gram if the current's not too big, but you'll get them. Yeah, we were stomping them last week. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, like I said, we're out here in Florida. I'm gonna go fishing. We plan on it Saturday, so and we'll see. It was like the worst possible day. So it's been like 75 today. It's supposed to be like 80 tomorrow, and then Saturday when we're gonna go, it's supposed to rain and be like 56 degrees. Of course, that's how it goes, right? You're supposed to get out there, and we wanted to do offshore, but we'll see. They might do the inshore. The good thing about here is the inshore. I mean, it's just as good as the offshore. It's really good stuff. We're in St. Augustine, Florida, so it's just south of Jacksonville, about an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
35, 40 miles.
It's like 35, 40 miles. So
And the speed limit is 61.
yeah, it's got a low speed limit. But yes, we're in St. Augustine on Anastasia Island. We're just gonna launch out of here. We were gonna go up to Jacksonville and fish, but the guy's boat got, I don't know, he couldn't get the engine started or something, so we rebooked another one. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go fishing tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go do some shore pounding. There's like a state park on Anastasia Island where you pay like $8 and you get in. And we talked to the people before we went out there today, and they were saying like you can just fish anywhere. We're like, is there any regulations or anything? Like, no.
I was like, California, they have restricted zones. She looked at me like, what
Yeah.
are you talking
We said in
about?
California that we're like in California they have restricted zones. And the lady just looked at Jessica like she was crazy. Like, what? It's like, no, you can fish anywhere. We were like, oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't think like MPAs or any of that stuff exists out here. It's like it's a totally different world as far as fishing goes. Like freaking everybody's got like there's boats in like every freaking driveway. There's boat lots and boat dealerships like all over. Usually the smaller center consoles. Like almost everybody's got like a 15 to 20 foot center console. It sounds like it's crazy, but that should be good. So I'm gonna go do some shore pounding tomorrow. I brought just my two travel rods. Like the one is the SLX DC. It's like a heavier setup. That's what I'm going to put on it is the SLX, and then one I just brought for like a spinning, kind of like a lighter setup for spinning. So I think I'm just going to wait and bait like a gulp shrimp, and then I'll jig fish the other one. It should be good. Hopefully it's good. Bunch of different species. That's the exciting thing. I mean, at least that's what I like about trying new areas. You get like a whole new different fish than what we had in California. So it's a whole nother game I got to learn. Mission Bay is popping off in between Hilton and Fiesta Island, 8 to 9 feet deep, big spotties. Damn, guys. I mean, if you guys aren't writing that down right now, you're crazy. Because he's giving you the knowledge right there. You guys got to delete that text, scrub it from the. I should delete it here from the thing. Nah, just kidding. That's good stuff, man. Noel, thank you. I think some of these guys are going to need it. That's shallow too. I've heard that as well. You're not the only one that's saying they've been getting them really shallow out there. And I don't know if that's you're the second person that's told me something like that in the last week. So I don't know if it's warmer water or who knows, or for whatever reason they just went shallow. That's crazy. TV metal art, the docks for tarpon. Yeah, that's wild, man. You seen like Dave Rageman came out here and he saw those pictures. I think we can get there. There is like a dock out there. I know there's lots of redfish, the black drum, the tarpon for sure. Yeah, Freedom State. It's totally different. I've actually never even been to Florida. It's my first time in Florida. I know I just went out here and closed the house yesterday, and I've never even been out here before. Oh, we closed it today. That's right.
This morning.
I'm so ass backwards because we flew in. That's right, we flew in late yesterday. Yeah, I woke up. That's right, we did title. Came and got keys. Yeah, we did do everything today. Man, that's nuts. We've done a lot. Yeah, it's been busy. So,
No one wants to know if you're slow pitching out here.
yeah, I'm gonna try on the boat for sure. I did bring some of my jigs. I'll try it from the shore. Definitely. Of course, I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, a lot of the I don't know why they want to eat it. It's as long as the fish are predatory, which they do have, shouldn't be an issue. But hopefully, it's good.
Just Aaron, watch out for walking boots and purses.
Walking boots and purses.
Alligators.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. It's like I haven't seen them, but we just went out to some restaurant or realtor and finance person we knew out here. They took us out to eat right before we came out. There's like I think it was called the Floridian or something. Yeah, and all the it was like alligator motifs and stuff. It was pretty funny. But we had let's see, we can go over some questions we had, and there was some good questions. I know Aaron asked, what was the difference? The fish in Florida,
Mm.
is that correct?
Like, what's the difference between fishing in
Oh,
Florida and fishing in
Difference
California?
between fishing in California. Yeah, and I'm not really a pro, obviously. Well, in California either, but definitely here in Florida. But there's not much overlap in the fish, to be honest with you. Especially in the bay fish. You know, here or in California, we've got the spotty. It's all bass. We got like the spotted bay bass. We've got the calico bass, um, the barred sand bass, white sea bass, black sea bass. Um, there is the halibut, California halibut. That's kind of like our bay fish, right? There's corvina and stuff like that. But out here, it's they don't have any of that stuff. Like there's there is what they call black sea bass. It's like different than our black sea bass. But out here, it's like black drum, redfish, weak fish is what they call it. Or there's different names like sea trout. Um, I think is what they call it. There's the tarpon, obviously, and the overlap. A little bit of overlap comes in when you go offshore. They do have the mahi mahi. Out here, they call them dolphin or the dorado. You know, back home we call them the dorado or the mahi mahi. Here they tend to call it mahi or dolphin. So that is one fish that is kind of familiar. And then the yellowtail too. Although it's not a yellowtail here, it's an amberjack, but it's the same fish. The yellowtail we have is an amberjack. It's like an amberjack yellowtail. So there's lots of amberjack here, which is really similar to the yellowtail. So, you know, aside from that, the crossover isn't there's not much similarities. They've got a halibut here, but they call it like a flounder, and it looks just like halibut. So I don't know if it's like the same thing. And then they've got what's called sheephead, and what we have is a California sheephead, and here they have a sheep's head, so it has the SHEEPS, sheep's head. Ours is the sheephead, and it's totally different. The one here is I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. I don't have any of the. Normally, I'd be bringing up a screen or something like that, but it's like it's a black. It's got kind of the similar head, but it's black and white stripes. It's like barred stripes, black, white, and but really, it looks nothing like the California sheephead. I know I posted pictures before of the California sheephead. And I was getting lots of comments were like, so they must have been seeing them on Instagram or something from here in Florida because everybody was like, oh, that's not a sheep. I guess in the Gulf too. Gulf of Texas, anywhere in like that panhandle, everyone's like, oh, that's not a sheephead. It's not a sheephead. Because the post was getting out here to the East Coast and just had to let them know. Like, no, it's a totally different fish than what you guys are dealing with. But yeah, it's crazy that there's really not much overlap. Saltwater game, it's almost completely different, but it's pretty good. I think it's always. I don't think it suffers from the same. Like there's a slow season, but it's not as bad as California. You know, California, the Pacific is so deep that like you go offshore and it just like it dumps off quick, and then you've got like the Marianas Trench, you got all this stuff, and it's just super deep, and then you get the current comes down from Alaska and up north and stuff, and we really depend on our tide coming up from the equator and moving its way up from Mexico. And here it's cools down a little bit, but it's a lot more shallow. It you got to go out for a long time before you really start hitting the drop offs. There are some shelves, but in general, it's a lot more shallow here, so it stays more temperate, and the current doesn't bring up that same current that we get from when it starts pushing north to south. It really screws us over. But then when it starts moving south to north and we get that Mexican water, it warms up. It doesn't seem as volatile and nearly as much as California is, which is crazy.
Aaron's calling it.
Oh, the sheephead
convict.
Mudo is describing is also called the convict fish because of black and white stripes. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So it's less than 50. Yeah.
Actually, fish in the chitchlid family. Yeah, I was looking it up earlier, looking up like all the different fishes and stuff like that. But there's like black, and there's things like mackerel, right? Like we've got the Jack Max and then the other Mac here. Well, here they have a thing called like king mackerel, and it's not even like these things are freaking huge. They're like the size of barracuda, and they're all wahoo here. So there's lots of wahoo. So you can get wahoo. I guess they're in California. Maybe you got to go to Mexico, but I think maybe if you go out in California far enough west, you can get wahoo, or certain times of year. But yeah, I guess that's another one. And then they have the bluefin, which is like they get those big hog ones out here, but I think those are a little further north. But there's the black tuna or blackfin tuna they have here, just different. I mean, which is cool because it's like, you know, a whole nother world to explore, which is I think it's pretty awesome. Marianas Trench is my fishing grounds. Yeah, dude. Imagine deep drop in there. Like, I don't even think there's a spool that can reach the bottom of that thing.
Here's a picture Aaron just sent me.
It's freaking crazy. Oh yeah, I have a picture from Aaron. That's the sheephead that they have over here in Florida. Totally living them over. We're doing it. Thanks for that, man. Helping the stream. Let's see, what else did we have on the docket?
Spring break at Mudos. Oh, Todd says to go alligator hunting at night.
Oh, alligator hunting.
What a great idea.
Why not, man? We'll smoke it. I see it on the internet, but yeah, it's funny. It's funny how like in California, I'm like I consider myself like a redneck, right? Because I like to shoot and fish and bow hunt and stuff like that. Then wear camo every now and then, but it's like I ain't nothing compared to out here. I'm like totally city slicker. It's pretty funny. We went out to some diner, like this little dive diner, man. It was like we're in a different world for sure. Frog hunting, man, that's coach's status right there. Give you all about it. Let's see.
Spring break at Mudos.
Yeah, spring break. Dude, for sure. We should come down here. What we're gonna do is Airbnb this place out. So we're gonna have a designer come in and then they're gonna outfit it, do what they gotta do, and then rent it out, and then we'll just use it as we need it, stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys want to come down, we should definitely do a trip. I should almost show you if you guys want to look up St. Augustine Island or Anastasia Island. We're on if you bring up Google, look up St. Augustine and then Anastasia Island. We're like in the north part, kind of by the downtown area. I mean, we're literally like I can see the water from the Matanzas River from our backyard here. You see us, we're like right there where that dot is. So you have the Atlantic just right out back, and then you've got all the river systems and stuff. So we're like right there. And then it's down, man. I was telling people, man, do you guys want to come down? We'll make a trip. 3-bedroom house. I mean, we'll outfit it, throw in some double bunks. I think it'd be cool, especially because there's like boats. There's boat charters all along the side there too. I mean, literally like a half mile away, there's just like 6 charters that just run boats. And what's crazy is here they run the boat charters are like they're way smaller. They don't have cattle boats here, at least that I've seen. In California, the cattle boats are running like, well, nowadays they're only doing like 35 to 40 people, but typically they're running like 60 people, something just freaking crazy. You know, when before the COVID hit, I mean, these boats were packed. Out here, it's like the 4-man boats, like at maximum, they're like 2 to 4 man, and they're usually just like 30-foot like center consoles. I just haven't seen like the big cattle boats out here. I don't know if they just need to be. I don't know. I'd have to ask. Maybe rockfish aren't a thing. Now that I think about it, I know there's like croaker and stuff like that here, but I know the cattle boats go and get on. I don't know if you need to be more mobile because there's offshore. You got like the cobia and like just all kinds of stuff. I know trolling is like a big thing out here too, and spinning reels. So like nobody uses conventional reels or bait casters. It's all like spinning reels out here for some reason. I mean, don't ask me why. Apparently, the freshwater game's fire. I don't really fish freshwater. Sometimes I do. I mean, I grew up fishing freshwater in the lakes. I was just like a trout guy. I never even really fished for bass. Like trout and catfish was my thing, but there was two like record-breaking bass just got crushed out here. Like some 15-year-old kid got like these absolute hogs. So freshwater is, I guess, really good too. I guess I'll have to get into that. Hasn't been my thing, but I'll have to try it. Try Arkansas. Yeah, man, I'm down for that. They always say you'll never see a fleet like an SD. Yeah, I've never seen it. Even though I went fishing once out of Virginia. That was the only other time I went out on the Atlantic. I guess we went out of South Carolina too, but yeah, I've never seen like just those fleet of huge boats. Definitely, I've never seen that. They also don't use the rail of a boat to assist the catch. Yeah, you can't, not with a spinning reel, to break that thing off. Dude, I thought you weren't doing a show tonight. Awesome. Yeah, I figured it was like I confused everybody. It was like Zach Riggs, welcome by the way. Um, we didn't really get the word out. So it was like I was gonna do Tuesday, and we were like, I was just way too busy. We flew out the next morning, so we're like, well, let's just try to do it Thursday. We'll see what happens. So I didn't like I didn't promote it that much, let people know just in case I didn't know how it was gonna go. I'm just streaming off my phone right now in the empty kitchen in my empty house. So yeah, so this is not a big deal. It wasn't putting it on the social media blast to get everybody in. But I thought I'd do a show, get something in there, get some fishing talk going. Saltwater Slayer bit, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Needs to try bow fishing. Yeah, she's got a bow. She's got her own bow.
I think he means you should try bow fishing.
Or I should try bow fishing.
What is bow fishing? Is this like fishing bow?
Yeah, you just like, but I think you need a different thing. The new house, yeah, Zach, we're in the new house in St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh, Aaron does love a tour.
Coach Wolf, what's going on? What's that?
Aaron asked for a tour.
A tour? I'll do a tour. If he doesn't want a tour, I'll do it at the end. If you guys want one, as long as the connection holds up. But there's not really much in here. We went and bought our realtor got a mattress for us at Costco. Like we had it delivered the day before. She actually has a friend from San Diego who lives here in St. Augustine, who was actually our finance person. So we stayed with her last night, and we came over here and we just threw it like a freaking queen size mattress down. It is pretty funny. Then we did a rush to like Target getting pillows and all that stuff. Have you gone fishing yet? No. Tomorrow I'm gonna go do some shore pounding. Went to some tackle shops, got some stuff today, and then Saturday we're gonna try to go out on a boat. It's not too bad. Doug Rubin says, have you ever caught a white sea bass on your kayak? No, I have not. I've never caught a white sea bass ever, especially not on my kayak. I know Cass Queen, I said she caught one because we went out with Eric Kruger and Cass Queen last Thursday, and we were talking about this, how like, I don't know, like I don't hear about people catching white sea bass a lot. I know it happens. I know that like in La Jolla, but I think that's got to be one of the most elusive fish in San Diego. That's definitely a bucket list fish for sure, though. But what's crazy is like I hear people catching the black sea bass more than I hear about them catching the white sea bass. Like I've seen the white sea bass get caught, and it's always like pretty awesome. That's why I remember it's like, dude, that's an awesome fish. But I don't ever like really hear about or see about people like really catching them. But I always hear about people that are like, oh yeah, I hooked a black sea bass, or we hooked up on a black sea bass. It seems like I hear more black sea bass being caught, which are illegal, by the way. If you guys don't know, if you catch a black sea bass, they have to be released. Don't even bring them in the boat. Just take care of them, put them back down. Unless you're in Mexico, that's a whole different story. But yeah, just like I'd love to catch a white sea bass, but no, Doug, I've never caught one in my kayak. Never even caught one ever. So, and I don't know many people that have caught them, to be honest with you. Like I said, I think Cass Queen said she caught one in the bay or something, which is crazy, like a little guy. And I've heard like I have heard of people doing it, but I don't even know. If you guys have caught one, let me know. I don't even know how many of you guys have actually caught one. It's certainly not on a kayak, I don't think. That's crazy. Oh, Salty, you got 2 shorts last year. Dude, that's freaking awesome. I didn't know that. Because they got to be long too, right? Like 28 inches, I think, same as the Barracuda. So even if you do catch them, they got to be pretty big to keep. I heard they're good, though. I heard they're the bomb. Saltwater Slayer, I've only caught one so far. Dude, that's pretty good. Maybe it's just me. Picked up some jigs. Can't wait to break them in. Thanks. No, dude, thank you. Hopefully you crush on them. Which ones did you get? Let me know if you need any tips. I think you do pretty good. White sea bass anglers are certainly the most tight-lipped anglers we have in Southern California. Yeah, that makes sense too. That's like the they don't want to burn up their spots, let everybody know. Is it because they're rare? Like, are they just not that bountiful? I mean, that's what I have to wonder. If they were right, like you want to catch spotties or barred sand bass, everyone's like, oh yeah, go out and do this, which is interesting. They just must be scarce. You know who's also like that is guys that target Corvina. They're like, dude, whenever you go on forums or something, those dudes act like it's the most secretive thing in the world. Like whenever they start talking about like the Corvina, and I think because they're not native really to like California, and they've kind of moved in here in the bays, people are like very secretive about like their spots about Corvina and stuff too. But really, just go out there and throw a top water. Don't throw a jerk bait over in like America's Cup or there's parts of South Bay, but like the exact spots, people are like super protective of Corvina fishing. For those of you guys that don't know, the Corvina is like there's Corvina with the B as in boy, which is like a surf fish, a little different. Then there's Corvina with the V, like vampire, and they've got like little vampire teeth. Apparently, they're really good eating. I've never caught one big enough to take home. I know Eric, the judge, caught one not too long ago, but it's supposed to be really good. Really fragile lips though, so you got to be careful when you do release them. I think that's one of the things too. I think so my understanding is that when you catch them, they're not real hardy fish. They tear up their mouth and they don't last too long out of water. So unfortunately, even if you catch the shorts, I think they have a pretty high mortality rate, which is too bad. But yeah, I got to get on somebody that knows the white sea bass area. Coach, I got to take you out if you know where they're at. We won't say anything. We'll film a video, and that'll be it. Picked up a white sea bass and yellowtail Father's Day a couple years back. Dude, that's awesome. Everyone's just doing it wrong. Seems like a lot of you guys have actually caught them. Well, I've never actually targeted them. Whenever I go out to La Jolla, I'm looking for the yellowtail, you know. And if that doesn't pan out, like everybody else, we go for the rockfish or the calicos. That's a guarantee right there. There's so many here in the harbor, Oxnard. A lot have only got one on the jerkbait. Oh, there are a lot up there. That's awesome. And you got it on the kayak, Todd. Dude, that's awesome. Salty 28-inch. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just catching up on chat here. Got a 21 and a 23. Those are pretty good sizes. A little short, but it's still pretty fun.
28 inches is legal.
Used to get them once in a while from the yeah. No, 28 inches, I believe. Yeah. Same as Barracuda. Yeah. Which I wonder why Barracuda got to be so big. It's not like Barracuda are freaking everywhere. I doubt they're like an endangered species or anything. Most people throw them back anyway. It's like, I think I'm going to do that this year. You know what? Last year, when we're talking about Barracuda, everybody says like they're trash fish. Not everybody. Some people say they like them. A lot of people say they're trash fish. And I wanted to catch one, and I actually got a keeper last year in La Jolla, but I let it go for some reason. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm like so trained to just letting the Barracuda go. I should have kept it though. I definitely want to smoke one or try it out. I just don't like taking people's word for things like when they say fish are terrible, because so many people tell you bonito's trash and bonito's really good. Hell, I even had a spotty and it wasn't that bad. I have had regular mackerel, and I didn't think that was very good. And I know that's a fish most people don't like. So I did try one. The Jack Macks are pretty good, but greenback, a few times I've had it, I wasn't feeling it. They're called ghosts for a reason. Yeah, I do. That's for sure. White sea bass, also known as biscuits, Captain Dan. I've never heard that before. They respond quickly to pressure, so if anglers are pinning on them, they just disappear. It's good stuff, guys. Aaron Kruger, I got a 29 white sea bass and Embarcadero rocks with a deep diving crank style king. 5XD. Nice, dude. I gotta get on my white sea bass game. You guys are passing me up. Caught a Corvina on a topwater Lucky Craft. The Saltwater Slayer. Caught a Corvina on a topwater Lucky Craft. One Clyde. Yeah, dude. Lucky Craft slay those things. Same thing with the Barracuda. They'll crush those. Lucky Craft 110, freaking dominate it. There's a Corvina at Spanish Landing. I got one last year. It's my first. Nice. Heck yeah, hell. I think I remember that for some reason. Corvina H&M Landing, boat dock, sub base. Yeah. No, well, you're 100% right. As I told you, just go H&M Landing, dude. Throw a jerk bait or throw a top water. It's like, that's funny. But people are like, yeah, that's taboo, dude. You can't be burning up the Corvina spots. You get your throat slit by somebody. They're gonna go like SWAT team. They're gonna fall through your ceiling and just take you out. Hyder, what's going on, dude? Here now we can start. I had to get through TSA. Oops, yeah, man. I'm right there with you. It's funny. For the kudos are good smoked. Yeah, I am too. I gotta try a smoked kudo. Kudos are good. Just gotta cook them quick. I think Barracuda, but you just gotta get past that smell, dude. Like they have this like I don't know. It's hard to explain. If you've smelled Barracuda, you know what I'm talking about. But you can't even really explain it. It's so funky. And then if I can get it on a rag, your rag too just smells like trash for as long as you have it. I had one in my van forever. It just was terrible. And then even if they like slap your kayak, I mean that smell like sticks to the plastic. I, it's pretty bad. Like what kind of fish does that? That's hard to get over. Is the smell for sure. Super slimy. Zachary lit rigs. Last time I was on a sport boat, a guy caught a black sea bass. Like you said, they got it off the hook without even bringing it on board. Yeah, dude, those fish are huge. I've seen one. I've seen somebody hook one too. It's the only time I've seen one in person. When I was on a sport boat and somebody hooked it, and it came up and it was like upside down. And I was like a kid at this point. I'm probably a teenager, maybe like 15 or 14 or something. And there was there was another black sea bass with it. So I don't know if it was its partner or what, but it stayed with it the whole time. It didn't leave its side, and then they got it unhooked and they flipped it over. And when it back down, like both of them went down together. It was crazy. Just two huge black sea bass. Well, bonito are very good as long as you bleed them well. Yeah, man, I'm the bonito proponent for sure, man. I'm trying to get people to eat those things, or at least try them, or at least like change the culture of it. I think it is starting to turn around. I don't know where everybody just said they were trash. I still hear it. We're trying to turn it around. I think we'll get there. People will be surprised. Maybe we'll take some pressure off the other fish too. Because if you catch the bonito, at least you got a bag full of fish. You didn't feel like you had such a bad day. But we've talked about that before, like people catching fish and bring them on board with, especially the bonito too. I've seen those go to waste, and you just hate seeing that. Same thing with like we went on a trip right in sand bass, and I think they said we had a pretty good day fishing sand bass, and they were asking us if we wanted any, and we said no. I think we had three. That was more than enough. And I even ended up freezing some, and I still got some in the freezer, and we ate it. But I didn't want the other ones, but I also didn't want them to go to waste too. But I don't know why they have extra. So I don't know if people are like, I hate when people are like taking fish and then they don't, uh, either don't throw them back or they don't eat them. And I don't know if like the deckhands are keeping them too. I feel like we got to change like how like dock totals are counted. I think that's like a big problem. I know we've talked about this before. Is that these sport boats? I know we talked about with Captain Bill too. If you guys didn't see his show, go check it out. We did like a talk with him. He's the captain of the Malahini, and it kind of is a problem where all the boats want to show big dock total numbers. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Where you go, that's like your reference for how a boat did, and it's not totally accurate, but we still all do it. I know I do too. Before I go out on a boat, I'll check out the dock totals. I'm like, oh, how did they do? Oh, the San Diego caught so many tuna, so many yellowtail, so many rockfish. So then you go on that boat. If one did way better than the other, you're planning out just a few days ahead. You always go for the boat with the bigger totals, and that kind of judges. And I think that's what keeps the boats busy is that they're keeping fish even when people don't want them or use them, but like they're bringing them back to the dock to like fluff the dock total up. Just imagine if somebody went on a boat, I don't know, and they like threw them all back, and you only reported 3 fish, but really you had a whole bunch. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like a better way. I don't understand why they don't catch. I know sometimes I see released. Some places do have a number where it says like the number released, either they were short or something, but caught. But I think that needs to be. I think they should be allowed to count dock totals with fish that were released that were legal, and I think that would really help people out. I think bringing the number to the dock, I don't think it's such a good. I don't have any problem with it if people are keeping the fish and eating the fish. I think that's totally fine. But I think there's a lot of waste, and we got to have some way to correct that. And I'm wondering, we should do a petition or something, right? Where it's like, hey, throw it back. But as long as you caught it and it was legal, like when we go out on our kayaks, right? How often do we keep fish? It's pretty rare. I would say it's not an everyday occurrence that we're out there. We're usually out there for sport. How many times do we catch spotties that are legal and we throw them back? When people ask, how many fish did you catch? You're not like, oh, 0, because I didn't bring any in. You're like, no, I caught 5 legals and like 4 other shorts. You know, you're like, I had 9 spotties. Like you still make the count and everybody knows you had a good day, even though you didn't bring anything back to the beach or whatever it was. Same thing with sand bass. Sometimes I keep them, but a lot of times I throw them back. Especially if I've got enough in the freezer, it's like, I know they were legals. I measured them. We took a look at them, but it's like, we send them back down. Calicos and everything's the same. I feel like there just got to be a better way with the sport boats, you know, instead of just always fluff the numbers. Like I said, I've seen tons of bonito just get wasted. I've seen them in the tank. I think Dave Rager said, or somebody was saying, or maybe not David, maybe it was like Fernando or something. He was saying that they've literally seen them like at the docks dump like, 20, 30 bonito just over the side because nobody wanted them. And it's like, so why the hell are you keeping them? Well, they're keeping them because they want to show the dock totals. Oh, we caught 75 bonito. I don't know. What do you guys think? I just think there's a better way of counting it. Like it's okay if you caught 65 legals and you release them, or if you caught 100 but let them go. I think that's fine. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. I don't know if there's some like I don't know if there's a law about that. I'm kind of ignorant on that point, so I'm not sure. Like I don't know if they have to like show numbers coming in. I know there's like the Fish and Wildlife uses those numbers and everything, but it seems like there's got to be like a way to just count legals released in a separate count. So then you still know, hey, you brought 15 tuna home, okay, but you let 5 go. Like I think that's fair enough. At least I still know that you caught 20 fish as opposed to 15, because I think we just rely on the dock totals too much. And I think that's why these captains, they just throw as many on board as they can. It's definitely a problem, I think. But you guys tell me what you think about that.
Oscar yet, or Jesse.
Oscar, what's going on? Jesse, Oos, welcome, man. Yeah, I haven't caught up on the chat. I'm like way behind here.
Coach says yes, there is a law about showing the numbers. Also, a law about waste.
Coach said there is a law about showing the numbers. Yeah, but I think that's a problem, right? But then they should then be allowed to just say, hey, I doubt there's a lot of like show the dock total, right? Like say, hey, this is what we got, but we released 15 legals. At least that's just my opinion. I think it would help. I think it would take some pressure off of the boats having to fill them up, Yeah, we got the bonito lovers out there. Heck yeah, guys. CNR practices basically killing big bass fishing in Southern California. Oh, where's it? Catch and release. Oh, so you're saying that we should be keeping like invasive fish? I know you've talked about that before.
There's too many fish, and everything.
Yeah, yes, there was a lot about showing the numbers. Yeah, because there is some cases I know, like coaches talked about too, when it comes to catching fish, you should be catching some fish, right? Like I know you talked about that on past shows on Fishy Hour, where sometimes you want to pull the bass out because they're just out there straight up destroying like a small pond and like all the crappie or freaking trout or whatever else is in there. So there is that too. Definitely the invasive fish. You should be keeping some. But then, yeah, that's like the reverse, right? People aren't keeping them because they want to keep the fishery open. So they're throwing them back, but now they're just invasive fish, destroying everything. And it's like, well, you should be taking a few of these home. That's funny. Yeah, take a few. I just hate seeing them being wasted.
Unfortunately, prosecuting people gives more power to the state. That's absolutely
Fortunately, the catch and release, the place, put basket. Oh yeah, yeah. The beach snacks. Take what you need, provide for your family. No, well, yeah, dude, totally. Dumping fish at the dock should be covered under wanton waste, game loss, dumpsters. They need to be prosecuted. Fortunately, prosecuting people gives more power to the state. Yeah, I see both sides of those arguments, Hyder. Few things I hate more than big government for sure. That's like one of my pet peeves, but yeah, just responsibility because it's like if they're legal to catch, I don't. You're allowed a bag limit, right? So I don't know how that works. If you're allowed to catch 5 bonito legally, you caught them and they're in your possession. I don't think there's no law there. You can do whatever you want with it. Like once you get to the dock, if you want to throw them away, you can. They were caught legally. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's hard to say. Yeah, like it's hard to prosecute people when a fish was caught legally within their means. It's just more of a personal responsibility. I'd like to. I think we as a community. I tell my guys, my employees this all the time. Like, you guys self-police yourself because I don't like making rules, and the only reason I have to is because you guys couldn't self-police, right? It's like we've tried this, we tried this. I've said it so many times, and it's like only then do I have to implement things, and I hate doing that. It's like we within our community, we've got to self-police ourselves because that's the only way things really change. Honestly, I know we were trying to do that with the sheephead and stuff like that. Need less laws. Government is the problem, not the solution. Yeah, I agree with that, dude, 100%. Because the laws, even the laws, like I was saying out here in Florida, basically like are no fishing laws. This is like no MPAs, none of that nonsense. It's crazy.
in California, they have restricted zones for like protecting marine life, and she was like, no.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I agree. It's immoral. More power to the state leads it to. It's exactly what this. Yeah.
Preach.
Don't disagree with you, Hyder. Let's see here. Aaron, good slow pitch setting for tuna. Um, anything heavy, you probably want some. Aaron asked what's a good slow pitch setup for tuna. I use the Phoenix Titan. I think the 150 to 300 gram. But you want a good 2-speed reel. I would say get a conventional, like anything that's big enough conventional reel with probably a 2-speed on it. You want good cranking powder, probably like a Fathom 40 is good. Even the 25 will probably do well, or anything within that line. Doesn't have to be a pan, obviously. If you're and a slow pitch rod, I think is good. It'll cover anything, probably up to like a 75-pound fish. If you got like a 300-gram rod. If you're really going for those donkeys, like those bluefin, like those 150, 200 pounders, you got to get like a. I don't think those slow pitch rods are going to handle it. You can still slow pitch with it, but you just got to be. You got to be jerking that. It's a broomstick, dude. They don't have much bend, but you got to make it work because if you hook one of those things, it's just not going to be up to the task. So if you're going for the big donkeys, yeah, like a Fathom, at least like a Fathom, I'd say 40, probably 2-speed. 2-speed, you got to have, man. Otherwise, you're going to be killing yourself. But I mean, I think that's a good baseline. And then I've got like the Penn Carnage 2, and it's rated for, I think like 100. I've got one that goes up to like 100-pound line, like 100-pound mono, dude. It's a beast. I run 80-pound braid on it, usually with like a 100-pound leader. And that's if you're really, really looking for those beasts. But if you're just looking for those 50, 25, 50 pounders, yeah, dude, just like a Phoenix Titan probably work. Anywhere from like 100 gram, 250, or they make a 150 to 300. There might be even a heavier one. I'm not really sure. It's hard jigging like a 600-gram jig at that point. By then, the rod is like, it's so freaking stiff. It's not even funny. What did Jesse say? Monterey, I saw a restaurant put a cooked lobster out. Saw a restaurant put a cooked lobster out in front of the pier to attract passing people. I hate that they do that because it's such a waste of the lobster. They probably do it every night. right? Just put out a fake one. That's funny. Do you like the line counter? I don't use anything with a line counter, Jesse. There's Shimano makes that reel with the line counter, the Shimano Oshea CT. I think it's the Conquest Oshea Conquest CT, and it's got a counter. Dude, it's got a digital counter, and that thing's badass. And you can you can control the speed like on the way down or the way up. That's a pretty cool reel. But I think line counter honestly would be helpful if you're um, jigging for tuna because sometimes they're not at the surface. If the surface bite is good. So I got this last year where I was fishing the yellowfin tuna and literally working a slow pitch jig within like that top like 20 feet of water. I was getting slammed. But then earlier in the season when I went on the Malahini, I was getting them at like 150 feet, 200 feet deep. So the captain would tell you, oh, they're 150 feet under the boat. I'm not going to lie. Having a counter, I mean, it's going to be, it would be helpful to know where you're at. I honestly, because I was just having to guess and I'm like counting like seconds or I'm trying to like determine where it is. Worst case scenario, I go past where I need. Like if he says the 200 or 150 feet under the boat, I just make sure I drop it way past 250 feet and then I'll slow pitch it and work it all the way up because then I know I'm working the column. But it would definitely be handy to have a counter. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. If you're bottom fishing, obviously it doesn't matter. You're just going to hit the bottom and you don't need it. But I can see where it could help because if they're 300 feet down or 150 feet down, a counter can definitely tell you where you are. So I totally see that for sure. I don't have any with a counter. Definitely not opposed to it though. I think it would be helpful. Definitely. Randall, what's going on? Congrats on Florida. Let's go. Thanks, dude. Yeah, man. Can't wait for you to come out and visit. Go fishing. Get you on some fish. Go submit some fish. Answer California hunters must take a reason why. Oh, okay. Is it talking about hunting now? Oh, the wasted game. Yeah. Yeah, poaching laws, and you guys get in big trouble for that. So be careful. Zachary Briggs says I have 2 line counter reels and I love them. Oh yeah, I've seen you slow pitch on one of those. That's cool, dude. Where is that? Sorry, guys, I'm just checking.
It was above right now.
Oh, when are you guys fishing this weekend for the tourney? FD Fisherman. I don't know if these guys are gonna give up that information. It's tournament time, man. These guys are savages. No information. That's funny. I doubt they're gonna be rushing to answer that question. I'm gonna give you the misinformation. If I was doing it, I'd probably just go back to either Friday or Saturday morning. Friday is good because I think less people fish on Friday. The Saturday, most people have Saturday and Sunday off, so it gets pretty crazy. I think if you can do Friday, obviously look at the tides. If there's one day that's like, um, if there's one day where the tide is superior, I would say definitely fish that day if you can. If they're all they look pretty similar. If you can do Friday, dude, I would probably try to do Friday because you're beating the rush. Everybody's probably waiting for the weekend, and you can, especially Mission Bay. As many people doing freaking spotty bowl, that's chaos, man. Mission Bay is gonna be nuts on Saturday. Sunday might not be as bad either, but who knows, man? The place might have just been lit up. I don't think the bite's gonna be very good, to be honest with you. What everybody else is doing, I don't really know. If I had my choice, I'd probably go Friday morning. I tried the night thing, didn't work for me. I got butchered. Never again. I'm a morning fisherman. I should have just stuck with it. Pretty funny. Still trying to learn California fishing game. Well, where are you from, Noel? Yeah, look up. Just go to their site. California's fishing game site actually has a pretty good resources. To be honest with you, they got like pictures and laws and all that stuff. Fish Legal is a good app too. A lot of times it tells you the fish you can find and all that stuff. Ida says real sportsmen and women have a vested interest in preserving the land or the sea they utilize. I'll bet we're all here. Yeah, I agree with you, dude. That is true because we want it for our kids and we want to enjoy it. We want our kids to enjoy it. That is true. You know, people that care the most, they care. You know, it was crazy is fishermen get such a bad rap, like, oh, we're out fishing the waters and we're causing the problem. But it's like people don't understand that anglers are usually hunters too, are typically some of the most conservation minded people that they are. They're like the most responsible. Uh, they give valuable information to fish and game. Um, and even like just the licenses alone, like you know how much revenue state of Cal probably billions of dollars just from California in licenses and all the other fees. I mean, that's the stuff that supports not just the fishery, but just the state in general. Like it's pays for half of the conservation stuff, you know. Yeah, it's crazy.
What was that? Like,
Yeah, Jessica was doing stats and she found out how much money it brings in. It's crazy. Like just from the licenses, it's like it's insane.
U.S. anglers outnumber California's population
Yeah,
by 25%.
U.S. anglers across the country of all kinds. What was it?
Outnumber California's population by 25%.
They outnumber California's population by 25%. California's got what 34 million people in it. Think about how many anglers that is. That's like 40 million, 45 million people or something like that. That's a lot of anglers. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. A lot of money in the fishing game. Freshwater regs are 110 pages last I looked. Salt was 105. Yeah, dude. We've talked about that before. Regulations are like it's like the tax code. I don't even think the wardens, you know, like when you go to a CPA or even the IRS, like IRS agents don't even know like the tax code. Or your CPA, you ask them a question, you're like, I don't know.
They'll have to specialize in like one part.
Yeah, you got to specialize in one part. It's fish. The fish code is like the exact same thing. You ask like these people, and half the time they don't even know. Or usually, it's very specific, general to your area. So like, just know where you're fishing, the fish that are in there, and where you're fishing, and just focus on that. Like, don't worry about fish in Northern California or fish that we're probably not going to have down here. Just focus on the laws for Southern California because they're separate too. The Julia is Southern, Central, and there's all these different layers that have different laws within themselves. So it's like just worry about where you're fishing. But then if you do go to a different area, you got to understand the laws probably are freaking change even within there. But without complicating it, just like focus on what you got. And then if you catch something funky, look it up or just let it go. If you don't know, just release it. I think that's the best bet. Or if you don't know if you can fish somewhere, just don't fish there. Look it up later. You know, go back and check it out. Are there prime times within the day and night to go fishing, or does it really matter, Randall? Yeah, man, that's like a dude. That's a whole nother. That's like half science fiction, half opinion. You can go on that topic forever, man. But yeah, there definitely are. You want water movement. Um, it does matter. The bite usually shuts off at certain points, then it starts again. It's definitely a cyclical cycle. It's good and it's bad. Fish, it doesn't stay hot like 24/7. That's for sure. There are definitely better times to fish, Randall. 100%. Gray light is money, Randall. Yeah, so that's like you know when you got overcast and stuff like that. I've heard the theories they tend to come out more like when it's sunny. This is what I've heard. I don't know if this is true, but like when it's sunny, the fish they go into dark. So that's something to know too. If it's super bright out and hot, I know if it's hot and bright, they will typically go into like shaded areas, but the overcast will make them roam around a little more. Let them keep feeding. Nobody really knows though. We've talked about this. If you had the secret sauce, you'd be a billionaire. You can sell that. If you could sell somebody a time when they need to go fishing, that'd be game over, man. You'd be the richest person in the world. That's why we've never been able to figure it out. And if somebody truly did know, they're full of BS. Nobody really knows. That's the real secret. We all think we know. We know nothing. We know so little about fishing. Fishing is like it's like outer space, right? We think we know so much about it. It's like really we don't. We make up like half these theories and we think we know everything about it, but it's so funny how little we actually know about it. Even the ocean, right? It's like you ever watch those shows like Discovery Channel? They're like, oh, 98% of the ocean is still unexplored. You're like, that's crazy. Yeah, we act like we know so much what's going on there. It's funny. So crazy because fishing has been around for so long. How do you think somebody has something definitive by now? Yeah, I think it's just they're animals, right? They're fish. It's a life form. You can't really predict it. And I think the ocean is so vast. It's like there is no formula. In order to catch fish, the like way we do, they got to eat. If the fish aren't hungry, there's so much that comes into play. Pressure affects their bladders and their stomach. The sun, the heat. They're cold blooded, so not all fish, but most fish are cold blooded. So if it's cold, they don't move around as much. When it's hot, they're more active. There's spawning times when they eat, when they don't eat. The tides come in. Running water brings food in, so sometimes they feed. If it's dead, they don't. Does the moon light produce better feeding times at night? Like there's so many different, and even if one of those is off, it's like okay, maybe the pressure outweighs the moon, or maybe the temperature outweighs the tide. It's like there's just way too many pieces of the puzzle to figure out. Maybe they just don't want to eat. You know, that's the thing too. They're just I think they get in moods and like any other animal. You can't pin them down, man. That's what makes it so fun. Hyder says you got to figure out fishing on the fly. It's 100% true. No day is ever the same. I know, at least for me, it's like I've never had a day that you can replicate over and over and over. It's not possible. Some days it's slow, some days you crush it, but I've never caught like the same size of fish at the same times. It's always freaking different. You can do a lot of things that up your success rate, and you can become a better angler. Like most of these guys in here are, because they've stuck with it. You learn all the little secrets. Sometimes it's not even secrets. It's a workflow that you go through.
Coach says shade lines get much longer early and late in the day, and I think this is important.
Yeah, listen to Wharf TV, Randall, if you want some tips. Coach, we spitting that truth. Shade lines get much longer early and late in the day. I tend to think it's important.
And Hyder thinks fish use shade lines.
Yeah, and bush color, yeah, all that stuff. So many variables. Yeah, man, it's never ending. Like the variables never end. It's insane. It really is freaking crazy.
Cal, the only thing definitive that tomorrow is a different day.
Yeah, it's true. The only thing is definitive about fishing is tomorrow is a different day. 100%. I've gone on days. We've all had that, man. You're like, everything is perfect. The tides are perfect. It's hot. It just sucks. And then you look at last month when the Spotty Bowl. It was winter. Everyone's like, "Oh, winter sucks," but most everybody did really well. Me and Leonard not included, but if you fished the day, even any of those 3 days, you did really good. When really there wasn't anything like special about it. You know, there was the tsunami, which helps, I guess. I see Jessica catching a lot of fish too. So cool to see. Yeah, Jessica, go out there and slay it.
Oh, I try.
Oh, she tries.
Mixed success, but you can't say I'm not trying.
That's pretty funny.
Did you answer his question about when to go on a tuna trip?
Who?
Aaron.
When Aaron asked when we're going to go on a tuna trip.
When is a good time?
When is a good time to go? Oh, when is a good time to go on a tuna trip? I'm coming up on an hour, guys. I don't want to take you guys too long, but depends what you want to fish for. The bluefin typically like colder water. Last season was like they were here all year, which is really kind of rare. Bluefin are from like May, June, beginning of July, like kind of that colder like time, like early, like spring and early June, or not spring and early summer is typically bluefin season. Lately, they've been around for a long. They stuck around pretty much all year last year, which is pretty rare. When you want the yellowfin, go later in the season, July, August, September. That's typically good blue or not. I mean yellowfin season. So depending which tuna you want, bluefin I would say go earlier when it's a little colder. Sometimes you can. I mean they were here last year, like a mile offshore. It was pretty crazy. But that's the general rule. Spring, cooler, go for the bigger bluefin. I guess they're not always bigger, regular bluefin, and then later in the summer when it gets hotter, the yellowfin. Yellowfin come in usually with the dorado and the mahi mahi. So it really depends what kind of tuna you want. So you can get them most year round. I'd say after June, you can get them June till I mean probably October is pretty good tuna fishing. Honestly, like September, July is for yellowfin, and then June probably for bluefin. But that could change, and that's the crazy thing with fishing. We talk about the variables. They used to not be bluefin at all, and they used to show up just early spring and peace out. They didn't even come back. They were like, I think they're still here. You can still go out to like your Tanner and way deep and get. They're still getting bluefin. They were here pretty much all year last year, which is really rare. And even the yellowfin bite wasn't that good. Where 2019 or no 2020 yellowfin bite was fire last year, it wasn't so great. So it's just great. You just don't know. Are we going to get the albacore this year? I have no idea. I don't think so. That's like they came around, I think, like it's like every 10, 20 years. The albacore is not really like that. I know Aaron Kruger was telling us about that, how they got albacore like 20 years ago, and then they come. Who knows? I doubt it, but they might come in. Albacore aren't not really a tuna that we it gets so much locally, at least in Southern California or San Diego area. Hourjacks, bull reds, big bluefish. Where are they at? They have a lot of those, a lot more.
He wants me to catch him a Jack Crevalle or
Cool.
catch one for him.
Those- Jack Crevalle look badass. I haven't caught one of those, but I'd like to catch one of those.
And Cal said
Oh, yeah.
roosterfish. The coach said they don't.
The roosterfish. What do they have here? The peacock bass, right? Roosterfish, I think, are down in Mexico. That's a bucket list fish, coach. Which one's that? The Jack Crevalle? Well, I'm telling you guys, get out here to Florida. We'll go catch them. We'll have to do a trip. At least I can save us on some save us on lodging. You might be on your own for flights and stuff like that, but at least we got a place to stay now. Yeah, I think I got through all the questions.
Want to do a little too?
Good stuff. So yeah, you guys, that's it for the show. If you want to stick around, I'll do a little tour for you guys. But no more fishing talk. So if you're not interested in seeing the empty house, there's not much to it. But if you want to see it, you can check it out. I'll give a tour for some of you guys if you want to see. It's not furnished or anything. Like I said, we just got a bed laid down there. If you want to peace out, I understand. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you got some fishing knowledge. It was cool having you guys. And yeah, let's check it out. I'll show you that. Right now we're in the kitchen, which is pretty funny. You got Jessica sitting here monitoring the chat. I wonder if I can turn this camera around. Maybe not, but let's see here. We'll go in the front room. That's like the front door. And then there's like a little entry area. And we got the living room. Got the garage over here. This is like a little one-car garage. Sorry, I don't know where the light is. This is like the worst tour ever. We got the kitchen. Got the stove. It's pretty funny. We're sitting posted up here. We got these chairs. They left us these lawn chairs out back, so we brought them in. That's like one of the few things we have. Kitchen sink, just the stuff we have. Nice little room. I know it's not wide angle. And we got the hallway. We got 3 bedrooms. You got one in here. Again, pretty empty. That's room number 1. We got room number 2. They did leave us a bed in this one. It's pretty cool. We got like high ceilings in some of these. This is our room. This is the mattress we got and all of our stuff that we unpacked. It's pretty funny. I got bathroom number 1. It's pretty nice. We got like this creepy little, I have no idea what this is, but it's like a little room that goes outside and then to some other little room that doesn't have a light in it. This is where we got the chairs from. I don't know what this is. It's like a mud room or something. It doesn't make sense. It's in the back of the house. There's that area. Like I said, the bathroom. And then there's like this house was built in the 60s, so it's actually a 1960s bathroom, which is pretty funny. It's got like the check this out. Check out the look at the wallpaper. And it's got like the old tile. This one's definitely due for a remodel. This is like the oldest part of the house. The rest of it's all been done. Like they left this bathroom for sure. Although that sink's pretty cool. It's like from the 60s. Got the old shower. A wallpaper's fire though. Come on, man, butterflies. Yeah, that's about it. It's not huge. It's like how big is this? It's like 1,400 square feet. It's not a big house, but 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Pretty clean, but really it's the location. I mean, where it's at is the freaking water is just right there, so it's pretty awesome. That's about it. That's the tour. We're gonna put it on Airbnb. If you guys want to stay here, you can check it out on Airbnb. But if then you guys want to come down and do a trip, I'm definitely open. So it can save us some. Yeah, the butterfly wallpaper. Where's the boat dock? Yeah, no boat dock on this one. Although the water is like, it's got a big backyard too, so it's too dark to see. Like I said, it's like 11 o'clock now at night, but we do have a big ass backyard. It's pretty nice, and then you can actually see the river. The Matanzas River is right behind us. If you look over the fence, you can see the river. It's like one house over, and then the Atlantic is like a half mile the other way. So it's pretty cool. So that's it. I know it's empty. Like I said, we're getting it decorated. We got somebody coming in, a professional decorator. They're gonna furnish the whole thing, and that'll probably be like a month. It'll look like a totally different house at that point, I'm sure. Like I said, it's just pretty empty. But yeah, that was it, guys. Thanks for joining. It was cool seeing you. I'm glad it worked out. Streaming from my phone, like on the browser. I wasn't sure if it was gonna work. Sorry if the sound wasn't good or if it's echoey, but not the best production. But thanks for hanging out, guys. It was awesome seeing you all, and I'll be back next week. I'll be back Wednesday, and then I'll be fishing San Diego as usual. Business as usual, fishing the bays, and we'll have to get out there and do another trip, guys. And cool seeing you. Good luck in Spotty Bowl. All you guys out there that are fishing, hopefully you guys slay it. Hopefully it's not slow. If it is, like I said, don't worry about it. You got a mulligan. Don't stress it too hard. But just go out there and find them. And yeah, guys, that's it. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.